Hello everyone, Ferrariman601 here with another impromptu rFactor review. This time it's the brand new Honda NSX, just released yesterday. I'm a little bit behind the curve on this one. A few people out there have beaten me to this. But whatever, I haven't had a chance to do anything. I've been quite busy. So here's my take on the NSX. This one seen here in its resplendent red and black. I almost said blue and black for some reason. I like the alliteration. In any case, there it is. Brand new. I've been hearing rave reviews of it. Supposedly the physics and everything else are second to none. So I'm going to give you my take on it. We are at WCP's version of Interlagos, just because the circuit's still on my mind after the last round of the F1 season. In any case, the NSX here. Excellent modeling, I must say, inside and out. This interior is absolutely glorious in its lovely detail. I love the reflections there on the door panel. The lighting effects, yeah. That's pretty cool. The detail on the radio. And of course the instrument cluster. Very nice. Nice looking steering wheel. Very, very cool. So, let's see all the things that the car doesn't have. What? It has... I'm hitting the launch control button right now, and if you look closely on the dash, the two shift lights are blinking with the launch control depressed. I don't think this car had launch control in real life. If it did, correct me. Of course, it doesn't have a pit lane speed limiter. Whatever. The spec I'm running here, the R spec. I've equipped it with the 6-speed box, as you can see. So we'll see how that goes. I've not turned a wheel in it. So yeah, I haven't even really heard the sounds. So we'll get it fired up and see what my impressions are. Alright. Well, the throttle response is actually quite lively. We'll see how that gets on for us. Into gear, give it some revs, and off we go. Just want to check that there's no auto blip. There is not. Means I have selected the proper options then on the setup screen. Speaking of setup, absolutely default setup here. This long pit exit at Interlagos, which I believe is going to be modified for next season, if memory serves me correctly. And we're on the racetrack. First impressions are that the car is quite stable. Again, I'm not really doing too much speed here, but so far it doesn't seem like anything untoward is about to happen to me. I like the tire sound effects, the tire squeal. I don't really have my wheels set up the proper steering ratio and all that stuff, so my initial impressions on the steering are a bit skewed because it feels a bit more touchy than it actually is, I'm sure. I'm only running 270-degree steering because I can't figure out how to make the 900 degrees work on my G27 for whatever reason. I've never been able to run it. Let's see if we can get some proper revs going here. Nice little shift light. Let's see, a bit of a confidence lift. Using all the road. Not confident with the brakes yet. Don't really know what they're capable of. Torturing that right front. Oops. I am a big fan of the sounds, I'll tell you that much. Very positive feedback from the front end, I'll tell you. So far, it doesn't seem to be biased so much toward oversteer or understeer. I mean, I'm not really approaching the limits, but so far it seems like a pretty neutral car. I can get on the power mid-corner. It doesn't seem to complain too much. Understeer through there, dip into the camber of the road, but so far so good, I must say. Again, completely default setup. A lot of stability at speed.
That was a 2:02.63.
Harsh on that downshift there, locking the brakes up. The nose still tucked in pretty well. Though by any educated assessment, I overshot that corner. There we go. Starting to get the back end out through the Curva do Sol, I believe. I don't know the names of the corners around here, and I don't speak Portuguese, so don't fault me too much. Gearbox is very positive. I disabled all of the auto blip options and whatnot. You can do all that quite easily from the showroom menu. Gotta resist my urge to want to correct the car for oversteer, because it will start to slide a little bit, but very predictable. It's very easy to gather it back up when it does start to step out. I'm gonna do some power oversteer through the corner here. Not much. You can make it through here without lifting. Yeah, easy flat now. Needed some tire temperature is all. Penalty like Felipe Massa, crossing the line.
All right, that was a 2:02.14.
And the nose still tucks in a dream. Oops. Remember, we are on road tires. I gotta say something. This is what, lap 4? Typically, whenever I do try to drive a road car or, you know, just a barely not street legal car in rFactor, my first instinct is to basically overdrive it. Because I'm not one of those people who really likes road cars in rFactor, but I must say it's quite the opposite with this one. It all feels quite believable. It's all pretty tame, yes, I mean it is a road car, it's not going to do anything miraculous, but all the same, feedback that it's giving me, even though, like I said, my steering wheel's not properly set up for it. That's a lot of understeer. That's what I get for talking too much. But even though my rig's not properly set up for this car, it's the feedback I'm getting. The force feedback's very nice. The sounds are good. Visually, everything is very crisp, very nicely done. Even with the loss of frame rate that I'm getting from running the screen recorder right now, everything is pretty tame, pretty controllable, very predictable. It's not really throwing me any surprises.
202.35.
Let's see. There we go. Good early upshift. I am running the 6-speed box. You'll notice that I don't get any higher than 5th, because I just don't have a long enough straight. But I'm not left wanting for that 6th gear. At least not at this circuit. Let's see, can we leave it in 4th through here? Down in a second. Heard a bit of speed. Saw some tire smoke in the mirror. And through here as well. Lots of squealing tires. So, overall first impressions thus far. I like the sounds, they're very immersive, very high quality. They don't sound very synthesized to me. Obviously these were put together off of real recordings of the car. Physics, very solid feedback on all. Wait for the lap time.
159.00.
It does feel, and I don't mean this in a bad sense, but it feels very Gran Turismo-like, in the sense that, at least in Gran Turismo 5, I mean, I understand that it's a console game, fundamentally different from a PC sim, but I will say that the one thing that Gran Turismo 5 did impress me with was the ability for it to give me the information on where all 4 corners were at all times. And I definitely get that impression with this car. It feels like the difference between driving a road car with a torsion bar or independent suspension on the rear. It's that kind of precise, finessed difference that gives you more confidence, gives you more information to work with as a driver. So the physics on this are excellent, I will say. The car's not done anything untoward. Very believable all the way around. This track is actually a good one for trying to get the tail out. Most of the corners are on camber here. They will help you. Except for this one. But, overall, I'm very impressed. Very, very, very impressed.
That was a 202.30.
Yeah, you can have fun with this thing. happy going sideways, I'll tell you that much. Doesn't seem to complain too much when I carry a little bit excess speed into a corner, like this for example. The back end steps out, and I'm gonna spin it of course, but the key is it doesn't mind when you carry a little bit too much speed into a corner. It's very positive on the front. Overall the balance is neutral, but it is front biased a bit. What I mean by that is when the car does start to break free, it seems like you have to use the steering and the throttle just as much as each other in unison to arrest that slide, or at very least maintain the forward momentum through that slide. Not like a lot of other cars where they're either very throttle or very steering angle dependent. This one is, it's a symbiotic relationship between the throttle and the steering input.
That was a 206.78.
The gear change is very positive. Shifts are smooth, it doesn't unsettle the car much. The brakes are actually pretty good for a road car, all things considered. Don't have ABS enabled, so it explains the braking patterns you can see in the lower left. So I do a bit of cadence braking. Look at that. Obviously the NSX is a legendary car. Would I call it the first modern supercar? Probably not. Simply because we're not talking about an astronomical horsepower figure here. We're only talking, I think I'm running about 290 in this spec. I mean, period Lamborghinis were already over 600. Of course, they had massive V12s. This is only a V6. But all the same, the handling characteristics, chassis dynamics are all right up there.
All right, that was a 159.89.
You can tell that this car was designed by two groups of people: scientists and racing drivers. Obviously the scientific side, the engineering side, says you don't need a huge V12 engine. You can mount a transverse V6 in there for better chassis dynamics, sacrificing all-out power, of course. And at the same time, racing drivers, namely Ayrton Senna, who contributed to the development of this car, knew what they were doing. They knew what made a car go well and what made a car go not so well. And clearly that input shows through. It is rather uncanny how understeer turns to oversteer and then back to understeer again. All through the same corner you can have understeer, oversteer, understeer again. You have 3 different fundamental moments of vehicle dynamics through the same corner, all happening at once. It definitely keeps your attention. But neither one is violent, neither one's unpredictable. You can kind of pinpoint when that transition is going to take place.
All right, that was a 200.64.
I know I'm not the world's best commentator, and certainly far from the world's best driver, but as that demonstrates. But definitely positive vibes from the NSX. Most definitely. I think I'm going to be spending a lot of time with this one. Visually, physics-wise, sounds-wise, top-notch. Absolutely top-notch. I know it's been only 10 laps, but you know what they say about love at first sight? We definitely got a case of that here. Sure I don't speed in the pit lane. Hello, pit crew. I didn't need to do that. Whatever. I guess they're gonna refuel me now and change my tires. In any case. Yeah. Well, that's a little humiliating, and the car's rolling backwards. Yeah. In any event, that's what I think of the Honda NSX. I am going to throw some exterior footage of the car in here as well, so you guys can get a look at what it looks like from the outside, being driven in anger and being driven a little bit more aggressively than I've done here, simply because I've not wanted to make a fool of myself in front of the world. So in any case, that's what I think of it. Do give me your feedback. If you've tried the mod, let me know what you think. If I've made a complete mess of this, let me know that as well. So thanks for watching, and see you soon.